I'm Looking Through You, a quietly brilliant and underrated Beatles track. I'm Looking Through You is one of the lesser celebrated yet artistically rich songs from the Beatles' groundbreaking 1965 album Rubber Soul. Written primarily by Paul McCartney and credited to Lennon-McCartney, the song marks a pivotal moment in the band's transition from infectious pop hits to more introspective and emotionally complex songwriting. The song was inspired by McCartney's relationship with actress Jane Asher, his girlfriend throughout much of the 1960s. Their differing ambitions, particularly Asher's refusal to give up her acting career to focus more on McCartney, led to increasing friction, and this tension is clearly reflected in the song's lyrics. The biting line, "You don't look different, but you have changed," communicates his growing sense of disillusionment, while love has a nasty habit of disappearing overnight, reveals a more mature, even cynical emotional tone compared to the Beatles' earlier romantic songs. Musically, I'm Looking Through You is a prime example of the Beatles' evolving sound during the Rubber Soul era. The final version, in the key of A major, features McCartney's double-tracked lead vocals, acoustic guitar, electric bass, tambourines, hand claps, and a subtle Hammond organ vamp, reportedly played by Ringo Starr. The outro's shift to single-tracked vocals creates what musicologist Alan W. Pollock described as a surprising last-minute sense of increased intimacy and immediacy. The track went through a surprisingly elaborate recording process. Between October and November 1965, the Beatles recorded at least 3 versions of the song. Take 1, laid down on October 24, had a slower tempo and a markedly different rhythm, lacking the now familiar middle 8 section, Why, Tell Me Why. That early version was later released on Anthology 2 in 1996. A final remake, Take 4, was recorded on November 10, with overdubs added the next day. The version ultimately included on Rubber Soul contains faint imperfections, including stray tambourine hits, offbeat claps, and ghost guitar notes. Whether these were overlooked or left in intentionally remains a mystery, but they add to the song's raw, almost live quality. Notably, the North American stereo version even includes 2 false guitar starts, a quirk allegedly preserved because Capitol Records engineers assumed it was deliberate. Despite its craftsmanship and emotional depth, I'm Looking Through You was often overshadowed by flashier tracks on Rubber Soul. Contemporary reviewers, however, recognized its quiet strengths. The New Musical Express called it a quiet, rocking song about a girl who has changed after letting her boy down, while Record Mirror praised Ringo's unusual organ contribution and George Harrison's top-notch guitar work. KRLA Beats' Nicky Wine described it as a really swingin' cut, with an almost bluesy sound. Modern critics have been kinder in their reassessments. Thomas Ward of AllMusic names it one of the album's minor gems, praising McCartney's mature lyrics and heartfelt vocal performance. It also serves as a musical bridge, retaining the band's melodic sensibilities while foreshadowing the emotional candor and experimentation that would define their later work on albums like Revolver and The White Album. In the grand sweep of the Beatles' discography, I'm Looking Through You might not attract the same attention as Yesterday or Norwegian Wood, but it remains a subtle masterpiece. Emotionally honest, musically inventive, and emblematic of a band in creative transition.